Hey, Ben, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. So we're here to talk about mobile apps and modern technology and helping the realtor. You know, it's funny, in prepping for this, I'm looking over some of my notes in your website, and something came across my research, my screen here, and we're going to talk about this, about how, because there's this conversation brewing right now. I'm sure you see it around, you know, how do we beat Zillow, right? How do we compete against Zillow? All that kind of stuff. So I want to definitely talk about that to kind of set the stages, both for agents and lenders. But give us your brief, version of how you would describe MobilityRe to a real estate professional.
Yeah. So, my kind of quick, elevator pitch to an agent, MobilityRe would be, that we are that customized app and platform for the agent so that they can give it to their client and keep their client off those other platforms where all of their competitors are. So we wanted to provide that home search experience with an awesome user experience and interface, but brand it to that agent and to that loan officer together. And that's, kind of the quick high level, and it really resonates with the agent because they're all experiencing what you just talked about. And that's that frustration of the clients all going there.
All right. So that brings up a question. Do you think we can really, when I hear somebody say, and I'm not trying to isolate you, right? But when I hear somebody say, keep the consumer off the other, destinations that they're going to, that we know they're going to, right? Zillow and all the other places. Can we really do that?
Yeah. And I think it's a really good question. I would say initially, no, because it's been there. They've done an amazing job of capturing all the eyeballs. People are going to go there when they first start. But what we've kind of seen as our way to get in front of that consumer and to make it happen is this is that conversation piece then for the realtor, the lender to say, hey, I'm sure you're already on Zillow or, Trulia or wherever they are searching. But then, they have all these advantages as to why they should use this instead. And they start talking about, the accuracy of the data. A lot of the times homes, don't get marked as sold. So you're looking at homes that have sold weeks or months ago. We talk about, that you're going to have a bunch of agents now hounding you and calling you. So, we see that the agents then start using all those reasons to then pluck that consumer off.
Yeah, I like that.
Leave there until you explain why they should and give them something good that they can then replace it with. Then, it really is happening.
No, that's actually an interesting concept. Thanks for kind of unpacking it like that, because I do think that makes a lot of sense, right? And kind of taking control of the customer. So maybe their journey does start on one of these platforms that's attracting the eyeballs. That's cool. But it's like, what happens from there? That's if I'm kind of peeling back the layers of what you're saying, right? It's now up to us as the real estate professional to deliver that consumer experience, that, right? What's our process going to be? Because we can't control the Zillow experience, but we can control ours.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you mentioned something as well, and just kind of, going through this kind of, checking the boxes of what your app does that's unique and different. A few things that jump out to me, and considering my audience, predominantly lenders, we'll talk about the, what's it called here? The lender partner portal through this conversation. But what are some of the real, you think, key differentiators for the MobilityRe app?
Yeah. So, there are a few things. One is obviously the customization to the realtor, which they want. They want it to be theirs. They want their branding, their logos, all those things. The second is that we're able to capture borrowers' information and track their activity without forcing them to register. And we found that's really powerful because, so many of the other platforms out there, it's, go to my website, go here, go do this. And then it's this forced registration. And we know what happens when a consumer gets that page. They take off and they go right back to wherever they started, which may be Zillow.
Right.
That's a big piece for us, is to say, look, give them this, let them use it, have that search experience, but don't force them to register. However, we're going to track that and let the agent and the loan officer know, hey, here's everything that consumer is doing. Another unique thing for us, though, is the co-branding of the agent and the loan officer.
Hey, just not to interrupt, but before you go on, how do you how is it that you can set it up so there's no opt-in, there's no email required? Is that because it's an app they download in the App Store and
So I wish, but
you
for
wish?
iTunes and Google Play are really pretty strict about that,
Yeah,
which is probably a good thing because that means if you downloaded some random app,
yeah,
that
yeah.
would have your phone number and everything else about you, which would be kind of scary. So because they download it, we don't capture it, but the different channels and ways that the
Mm,
consumers come in is how we are able to capture that. So through social media and our APIs and tie-ins to the social media, when a consumer comes in, we capture through our text-in platform, through our app share, where an
mm,
agent shares it from their own phone to a potential client's phone,
mm-hmm,
open houses. We also have like a sign writer component. All of these different ways and channels that we have consumers come in, we
mm-hmm,
capture that phone number
mm.
and then track the activity, which has just been a really powerful way of getting them in, but not forcing them to register, but getting that info. And then as they request more and more info within the app, or I want to schedule showings, or I want to do this, at that point we can say, all right, do you want to provide even more information? But out the gates, we're getting a cell phone number. We found that that cell phone number is really probably the most valuable thing you can get, because from a cell phone number, you can learn a whole lot about somebody. Uh,
And you're getting that cell phone number because of the various data points you're able to connect once the consumer does download the app?
Yeah, once they come in, correct. And we have a web version and a native version of the app. So
Mm-hmm.
even if they just come into the web app, we're capturing that.
Hmm. Okay. What is the usual kind of experience? From what I'm thinking about is like, does the customer know, like, what's the proper kind of etiquette, right? If somebody's going to be, they may not know you're getting their mobile phone number. So are there some things to be aware of there before you start like binging people?
Yeah, I mean, what we found that a lot will do is I'll say, I'm going to share this app with you, or someone may just text in off a sign or off of a mail or whatever, as the consumer sees.
Mm-hmm.
And what will often happen is that agent or a loan officer will then text back through that same channel and just say, hey, saw that you're utilizing the application. Feel free to continue to use it. If you need anything, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But then the responses also can be tied to the activity, which is helpful, because if that consumer goes in and they look at a house and they like it, and then they request a showing on it within the app, that's a pretty easy and solid lead response to say, hey, saw that you wanted to go see this home tomorrow at 2.
Yeah.
I'll get it all lined up, meet you over there. So
Can
it
I
just,
actually download this like straight up myself in the App Store, or do I need a special?
yeah, so MobilityRe is unique that way, that we don't promote ourselves in the App Store like a Zillow or something else. Our whole model is that we brand it, customize the agent, then have them promote it. So, an app that you would get would probably be some brokerage or agent or individual app that is in some market,
Got it.
promoting and marketing it and branding it that way. So
Yep. Okay.
we have test accounts and demo accounts that we can send to people to get a feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really promoting our own platform. We're more of a, let's brand it to the real estate professional and let them promote theirs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that's great. Couple other highlights. So you're welcome to keep going in terms of unique app features. I mean, I'm just looking at the website. I'm seeing the MLS data integration, and to your point earlier about the accuracy of the info, right? That comes right from the MLS. But another cool feature I thought that, correct me if I'm wrong, that stands out different than Zillow is the updates.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool because we are direct vendors of the MLSs with the agents that are members of those MLSs. So we basically go in, we create the app for an agent, they're a member of that MLS, we attach that MLS to the app,
Mm-hmm.
and it powers the application. And fortunately, with our vendor partnerships with these MLSs, we get that data in real time.
Mm.
So we're able to send real-time notifications of homes hitting the market.
Mm-hmm.
Really pretty powerful as a consumer, is approved by their loan officer. They're just waiting now for the perfect home to hit the market. We can notify that consumer within, a minute or two of it actually hitting the MLS
Yeah.
that, hey, this home just hit, it matches your criteria. Go check it out. And, oftentimes that can be a day or two before it hits all these other platforms.
Right.
And that's a nice advantage to a consumer that is in a hot market where things are moving quickly.
So, I mean, this app is it's pretty powerful, right? I mean, we don't have time to unpack everything here. You've got a full-blown CRM, which is kind of unique, I think, right? I don't really see that often in apps. I see usually there's
Mhm.
kind of an integration to a third-party CRM, so that probably provides a little bit better experience for all parties.
Sure.
And you can interrupt me anywhere you want, by the way. The thing I'm just pointing things that jump out to me. A Facebook integration. Tell me how one uses that.
Yeah. So, that's part of that lead capture. So, as an agent gets their own customized app, they can now promote their app within Facebook to all of their friends and clients. They can also, even do Facebook ads. And then a consumer can then get the app straight from Facebook. And
Hmm.
the integration there is really cool because the consumer can click on it through the APIs. We know who clicked on it, what they did. They can request showings, communicate, do all those things. So
Hmm.
a very cool integration through the social media
Here's
platform.
a crazy question for you that
Sure.
I didn't prep you for is I don't know if you've ever seen sometimes people run the Facebook ads where it's like get a list of homes under X or maybe and it ties into an IDX for certain listing or criteria.
Uh-huh.
Can somebody run an ad on Facebook, get them to quote download the app per se to get access to that specific CTA?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, people can get really pretty creative with it because all those are search filters and
Hmm.
alerts and everything that can be created. And so, really it's up to that agent or brokerage or whoever and how they want to promote it on Facebook. But they
Hmm.
could do exactly that. Say, hey, have homes that fit this criteria sent directly to your phone. Click here, and when they click, it would take them straight into that alerts page where they just drag the map where they want the alerts.
Hmm.
Then filter of price ranges or other things and automatic there it is. And
See, I think that's really cool compared to like how a lot of people do it right now is go to a landing page or whatever, right? And all the things you got to stitch together there. This goes right into your app, tied to your CRM, tied to
yep,
the whole frictionless kind of process.
exactly, yeah, it's
Hmm.
cool.
That is cool, man. Yeah, the CRM again, just a quick glance. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised how in depth the CRM seems to be.
Yeah, it is, and what we've noticed is a lot of agents, a lot of lenders do have their own CRM.
Hmm.
So we've created this one that basically says, hey, look, you have all these people coming in. We're going to track their activity. We're going to show you what they're doing. We're going to show you if they've added favorites, requested showings, if they've shared it with someone else, if you've shared it with them. And we're going to do all those things and provide it to you and send notifications via text and email and then let you view it in your desktop or mobile CRM. But we also then said, let's pass it through to your existing CRM if you have one,
Hmm.
because we're not trying to get you to switch CRMs.
Hmm.
But if you don't have one, you can utilize this. If you do, then we'll pass all these leads through and you can continue to log into the one spot that you check all your leads, but now see all your leads that come in from this platform.
Right. Right.
So, we can really go either way, and that's been really pretty convenient for everybody.
You also have showing requests on this app, which probably makes it convenient for the potential buyer, right, to schedule a showing request.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the consumer can click request showing and schedule that essentially, and the agent whose app it is then gets the notification,
Yeah.
and they line up that showing and call
Hmm.
or text the consumer back and say we're good to go.
Yep.
I'll meet you too. And now they're meeting a new potential client over there, showing them a house.
Yeah, love that. Okay, so we spent a little bit of time talking about some of the features and stuff, and obviously we're going to put links to your website and some other things. Other things we'll tell you listeners about in a few moments here. But it's mobilityre.com. Links in the show notes if you want to. There's a cool video there. You have a daily webinar, I think, as well.
Yeah, so we do. We do demos, daily webinars, so people can just request, to join that, and then we'll send them a link and run through that demo and webinar so that they can see the products and
Yep.
kind of what it is, and how it works.
Okay.
But I think a big part of our platform, obviously, a little history of our company. We've been around a little over 10 years,
Hmm.
and we started out really more as just a realtor product, customizing and building these. But we found so often that these agents were working with lenders, and the lenders, wanted to be part of that, and build relationships with the agents. That we started getting more and more lenders calling, saying, "Hey, how can we utilize this to build relationships with agents, generate leads together, follow up on leads together, and take those consumers off the other platforms and put them onto this, where now an agent and loan officer are there. So we really kind of transitioned to a lender agent product and have added a lot of cool features for the mortgage industry. One of the best parts of that now is, as all these consumers come in and they're searching for homes, we create space on there for the lender and link it directly to their online loan application. So the consumer can now kind of get that whole experience of finding a home and getting approved for a loan, all kind of in a one-stop shop. So, that's been really beneficial for our lenders to now be able to go to the agent and say, hey, look, we can do this together, where we have home search, we have, a loan application and approval process, all kind of connected. And, it's what the consumer is just being pounded with in terms of advertising. We all see, the
one-stop shop.
Yeah, Rocket Home, Rocket Mortgage, all cool things. Well, now they can get that same user experience by finding a home and getting their loan all through this one platform.
Tell us real quickly then about the lender partner portal. What is that?
Yeah, so basically what that is, that allows the lender to come in and introduce mobility to their agents and to the brokerages that they work with. So then what happens, we end up creating these apps for these brokerages and agents. The mobility team will actually do rollouts and sales presentations to these brokerages for the LO. And just to give you kind of an example, we have a lender in Colorado, and they went to, I think, 5 or 6 independent brokerages, meaning, ABC Realty, not a Keller or a Coldwell or a Remax. Sure. And said, hey, look, we have these really cool apps that can be customized for each of your agents. Then they can give it out to their clients, so the client uses it instead of these other platforms. And every one of those independent brokerages said, oh, that'd be awesome. We love it. So Mobility created apps for every one of those. It ended up being about 1,600 realtors. Wow. We then did sales meetings for each of those brokerages. The Mobility team helped launch it to those agents, and then had the lender section on every one of those apps. So, the exciting and cool part for us is then working and talking with that lender. They're now getting roughly 35 to 40 completed loan applications in their inbox every single month. From the consumer that's now getting this realtor app, searching for houses, and they see this big apply now button. They click on, put their info in, and loan app drops in the lender's inbox. They get everything squared away. And in addition, they're now building relationships with 1,600 realtors that they may not have known or had a conversation piece, with, and now they do. So the big part of this platform is the lender ability to go to agents and brokerages. You
don't think the lender would have been as successful had they offered to buy 1,600 cups of coffee?
No, right. Add a donut to it. And,
add a donut, baby. We're in. No, I love it. That is really a great example of, number one, knowing, who you're speaking to, because what you're kind of alluding to with the big franchises, they already have CRMs and apps and like Keller Williams and stuff like that. So the easier kind of path there was, hey, how can I find the underserved? So a loan officer listening to this, right? This is your opportunity. We're going to give you some, ways to learn more about mobility, how you can have a conversation with them about perhaps bringing something like MobilityRe to an independent brokerage like that to have a similar situation. Like Ben just talked about. Huge value add, man. Love it.
Thanks.
Okay. In terms of, in the lender partner portal itself, that's a co-branded experience, you said?
It is, yeah. It's a co-branded experience that will brand to the agent and to the loan officer. But, what we did, and I don't know if, we can kind of talk about this now, and I think this is, have a good segue in, is that, we've done this for over 10 years. And as these loan officers start looking at it and saying, this is awesome, but I do need to know my audience. I need to know who I should be having this conversation with. I found, forever, LOs, go into a real estate office or try to have a conversation with an agent, just kind of blind, not knowing, does this agent do 2 deals a year or do they do,
Right.
3 deals a year?
Yes.
And so as we looked at this and had been, creating this co-branded product for 10 years, we said, why don't we create something that's going to help our loan officers and our lenders understand who's doing all the business in their market so they can then go have the conversation to, a potential app and coffee and a donut, but to agents that are actually active, good, solid agents.
Producing.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so, last summer we launched a beta version of what we call market intelligence.
Okay.
And what that does is kind of twofold. One, it gives the loan officer the ability to search agents and brokerages in their area to see who's doing what. Mm-hmm. So basically say, I want to see all the top brokerages in this market, or I want to see all the top individual agents in this market, mm-hmm. or a specific brokerage or a specific agent. We can then show you how many deals they're doing, what kind of deals they're doing. And then, we were able to take it one step further, which is really pretty exciting. We can then also show you what lender they're working with. Mm. So it basically allows our lenders the ability to come into a market, analyze it and say, okay, these are the brokerages or agents that we think there's an opportunity. They're not specifically using a lender. It's kind of scattered. We're going to go in and try and now have conversations with these people and now use all these other tools and products we talked about for the first part of this, to then say, hey, we can create these co-branded tools that are going to be effective for you. Would love to, work with you, show you how we can help each other generate more business. So it's really kind of connected that circle of now we have the way to find the right agents and brokerages, but then we also have the tools to co-brand and build the relationship and generate leads together.
Are you saying that you can, let's just say a lender goes through that and identifies an opportunity, much like you described, you're willing to help have those kind of conversations to bridge that?
Yeah, exactly. So what we do, what the typical lender will do is they'll come into the intelligence, they'll find those agents, brokerage that they want to work with, and then what they'll do is reach out some way or another to that brokerage and say, hey, and we've created some cool marketing materials. So we have like a 2-minute teaser video that the LO could send to that brokerage or to that agent and say, hey, check this out. Let me know if you're interested. And that says, hey, get your own app, do this, and this, have it branded, capture leads with no registration. So it kind of perks the interest of that brokerage or agent. And then they say, hey, look, we want to come in and give you guys a demo or presentation. Well, part of what Mobility does is we have teams that will then, do a webinar and do that presentation to the brokerage, explaining the whole product for the LO. So essentially the LO just lines that meeting up. We do that. The LO looks great. And then, every time the broker is excited and says, yeah, we love it. What do we need to do?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Build and launch it.
That's very interesting, because that is really taking the angle of a business partnership versus just a vendor, Yep. I like that a lot. I like that very, very much. My brain is spinning. I've just been taking notes to this whole thing. So if somebody wants to learn more about how to do that, wants to dig into the Mobility app, I know you and I have talked about doing something special for our listeners, and that historically your platform has been available pretty much only on an enterprise basis, right?
Yeah. So, we've had, our product, the co-branded side of things that, we've done on individual agent level and on a branch level for lenders, but the whole intelligence piece of it, where we're now giving you insight on, productive agents, but also on the flip side, lender production for recruiting, where we can show, what LOs are producing, what kind of loans, what realtors they're working with. That market intelligence piece that, we launched a year ago, that has been really on an enterprise level only.
Yep.
And has gained a ton of traction, has been really, really effective over the last year. But that's where I think we can do something pretty unique for all of your listeners that we've never opened it up on an individual basis.
Right.
It's always been that the entire company has to sign up, and we're going to open that up to individuals through your platform, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, it is, and I'm looking forward to being a part of this because it is literally brand new as of what you and I just talking like the other day.
Yeah.
But you and I talked just quite candidly about there's other things in the market that are trying to do different pieces of this, but don't necessarily do it all together. Whether it's MTA reports, list reports, whatever. But you guys, I think, have this complete suite solution that also integrates. Let's just face it, the mobile culture that we all live in.
Yeah.
And really creates a true, connection, if you will, about, the whole, like I remember back in the day, like the pain of disconnect. What we're looking for as a lender, everybody talks about loyalty from real estate agents. Well, how can you make that relationship more sticky? The pain of disconnect, right? And in this is a great example of it would be painful for an agent to disconnect because of the value they get that you bring to them.
Exactly.
Love that.
Yeah.
So for those listening, if you want to learn more, what we're going to do is put a link in the show notes, and you need to just grab your mobile phone, click through to the show notes page, or if you're on your computer, desktop, laptop, obviously, click over to the podcast page, but it'll be very easy for you to find that, and that'll take you to the next step in the process. And let's all get together and do something meaningful together.
Awesome. I love it.
How about if anybody wants to reach out to you personally, Ben, where would they do that?
Yeah, so a couple things that they can do. You can reach out to us directly. I'm going to give you, this email, it's sales because it's going to respond much, much faster than I am. So you reach out to sales@mobilityre.com.
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll get a response right back with you quickly. But also you can call our number, which is 855-858-0590. And, we can send you the 2-minute videos. We can send you, all kinds of information, walk you through demos, whatever it is. Our team will take care of you, show you what it is, how it works, and all the best ways to utilize it and everything you can do.
That's awesome, man. Well, listen, I know we're both busy, and I appreciate you making time to talk about this partnership here together, value we can bring to my listeners. And for anybody who is listening, once again, check the show notes for that, or just, email me directly, podcast@mortgagemarketingradio.com. You know how to reach me, hit me up on the Facebooks, whatever, and we'll help you have the conversation you need to, with Ben and his team over there at MobilityRe. So, hey, man, thanks for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me on. All right.
You bet. And listeners, as always, if you like this episode, you know what to do. As a matter of fact, I just mailed out 2 podcast swag box today, t-shirts, stickers, all that fun stuff. And so if you want to leave us a review, you're going to get a swag box too. You know what to do. Just DM me and let me know you left a review and your t-shirt size. So appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.